Hello and welcome back. This is the third part of my tutorial series about how to build a rigid plant. And the last time I think we finished until this point where we have like 3 joints and we attached a little fabric to it. So in this part of the tutorial series I want to show you how we can make the actual plant itself. So I'm not sure if it takes too long. I probably will again split it in 2 parts. Sorry for that, but yeah, sometimes I think it's better if I explain a little bit and it takes longer so that you can understand it. Otherwise, yeah. So let's see how quickly we go through this. But the end goal is that we can have the plant behave like this. So, and finally we start with the whole colorful section. Most of the stuff you can see on the top you already know. So also the part with the rigging, it's basically the same, just with more joints and the middle axis and the stump. So let's start right at the beginning. So the yellow one, I took the effort to recolor the stuff so that the color of the frame is the same color in the viewport, so that you hopefully have a better orientation. This one is exactly the same like in the videos before, so if you just jump to this video, please watch the one I made beforehand. So then it's much easier what I did. So I won't go into every detail, just quickly a box, I colored it, I changed the endings, and then the nice little trick with setting the, putting the whole geometry on the surface, pack it on the origin, and with the offset, sorry, with the offset put into right where I want to it and where I want to have it, and then I transformed it to the side. So, and as you can see, the other boxes are also all referenced, and they are, yeah, basically all the same like the yellow one, so we don't have to go in there. The only thing I changed was like the length of them. So I'm not sure if I have showed you already. It doesn't matter how to, if you have a reference copy, you can just hover over a field and with Option and Shift, or yeah, it should be Option and Shift, while holding these 2 buttons and clicking on one of the entering fields, then you can detach it, and so it's no longer linked to the original, and you can change the values in there. I undo this. So I think that's a nice little trick. And so basically this is 6 times the same. And I just stacked them on top of each other and rotated them with the their transform and with match size. So yeah, I just, let's see, with this merge, I have put these 3 parts together. So it should be nothing new to you, as I already showed you. I just justified the x min to max. So I took an input value, which I show you in a second, and yeah, aligned it correspondingly and did this exactly the same, just offsetted it. So if I undo the offset, you can see that because the match size, yeah, it puts the whole object on top of each other in the settings that I chose. So I want them to, that they go into each other, and therefore the offset is really handy. Yeah. And the values, I just tried them out, and yeah, so that's not too complex. And what I did was I mirrored the whole thing. So if I go to the mirror, I just, yeah, I think I changed the direction, and I didn't keep the original. For me, it was much clearer to have them in two separate strings, which I can merge into one another. So basically, that's the first part. I gave them a group. I called them planks, and yeah. So that's basically the first part I did, and then I started with the middle axis, and it's really exactly the same. So we can have a look on it. It's also like a larger yeah, piece, and the only thing I changed was I changed the direction in which I rotated it. So when we have a look at the merge, we should be able to see it. It's already positioned where I wanted to have where I wanted to be, so it's not in the center anymore. So therefore, I have to jump around. And yeah, basically, I rotated the blue one on the what is it, the z-axis, so that it's, where is it? Yeah, and the other ones are aligned to this part, and I tried a few different ways how I could attach them to one another, and I found this the most pragmatic solution, because I want to not just have one time this part, but more times, like 3 or more. And if we have a look on the whole merged geometry, there you can see I just took this part and transformed it a little bit. So I just scaled it down 0.8 and 0.6 and matched it again on top of the before one. So that's exactly the same part, but scaled down and aligned on top of each other. And the two gray parts, these two, they're the same like the blue one, but they're building the start. So if we go to the first part, you can see that it really starts at the center, and then it builds all the other parts on top of it. And if we go back to the merge, so that's the whole geometry, or the rigid geometry, all nicely packed. And yeah, that's it. And the rest is as usual. So maybe let's see the numbers. For this method, where we use the enumerate and just the index to capture the packed geometry onto the joints, it's important that the zero, or the point number 0, starts really at the bottom, or where the root is, and it should go up. And when I merge all the stuff together, that's not the case. So let's see. 0.21 is on the bottom, and I think, yeah, the numbers are random. So to change this, you can use the sort node, and you have maybe it really works immediately, but there you have the point sort, and basically what it does, it yeah, as it says, it sorts the points by a different axes, or by different kind of things. And I just for me, the right part was by the z axis, because that's the axis I use in this case. But if you're not sure, or if you have aligned it in another way, you can just click them and see the result. And yeah, for me, the z axis worked. Then I use the enumerate function, and what it does is if we go back to the sort, we have and we look at the spreadsheet, now we have the index attribute, which is on the points. And this attribute we're going to use again to capture the packed geo. So that's the part down there. And to achieve this, as I showed you, we need or use the add node, delete the geometry, keep the points. And what you can do is go to the tab by group, and then it will connect all the points. There, maybe it's nice to know. I'm still learning, and I try and experiment a lot with the rigging stuff and kinefx. And in a few days ago, I learned that it's not necessary that I connect them in this part. You can just use the parent node, and maybe that's easier sometimes. So what I mean is, here the nodes are connected because I switched the tab. And now I just have the points, and if I go into the parent joins, I could just go in there, press enter, and connect them all. So that would be the same result, but I want to show you what I did so that it's understandable, and maybe in a future tutorial I'll show you a different and maybe a little more or an easier way. So basically, this is the add node. Then I added the rig doctor. I initialized the transforms, and we can see that the joints are not correctly connected, or the parenting is not the way I want it to be. So I use the parent joins, and as I'm not sure it's, I'm not sure, but exactly, you just if you're in the viewport, you press enter, then you have the little dots, and if you click on one dot, you can build another joint, and you can connect them in the way you like. That should be this part. Maybe I can just recreate it so that it's understandable. Parent joints. So I connected, and so this is the state I arrived before this node. I press enter, and then I can see, okay, this looks good, but there it doesn't work. So I need to connect them, and I would start like I would start with the important node. So just a stump, I go to the top, and I just click, and there on the top it's two ways, to the left and to the right. So I just click there, and I'm not sure why it behaves so weirdly. Sometimes it helps to unparent the cycle. I didn't even use this. So so that it doesn't try to reconnect stuff while I'm doing it. So now it should work. Yeah, you can see the wrong ones disappear when I connect them as intended. And if I have one node and it's I can just press again enter, and I deselect this. So I click also with the left mouse button and click and enter. So that's basically what I did. So now it looks good, and we can work with it. So that's just for you to show, to see what I've changed. We can display the joint axes, and if I go there, nothing changes. So basically this node is obsolete. if you really need to change the orientation, there are, as I researched, or maybe there are more ways, but I found 2 ways, and the one is to use a skeleton node. So maybe that's just a side info. If I want, for example, that this joint is rotated differently, so that when I later use the rig pose, it, for example, I want to have one rotation on the x-axis, and I want that the right side and the left side are controlled by this one value, then I could rotate these axes accordingly. And to do this, I click on one node and then I say show handle. And on the top, you can see there's child compensate. There you have different modes. You can switch them there, or you can use the shortcuts. And what I did, maybe it's just, let me show you what happens if we don't use the child compensate. We now in the create mode. So if I select one button, he wants me to click elsewhere to create a new joint. That's not what I want. I press F, and now you can see I changed the mode to modify. And now what I can do is I can change the rotation of this joint. When child compensate is not activated, the rotation is inherited to the child. So that's not what I want. I want that it's just this, or it depends. If you want that the rotation is affected or is going to the child, then it's good, and sometimes it's not. So in this case, I just want to show you, I want to rotate this one joint, and I can just by dragging the mouse, and you can see the numbers are really small and yeah, not very precise. To change this, you can just hold control, and then you can see it changes, or the changes are in 45-degree steps, which I think is really handy, because most of the time you just change it in this yeah, values. If you want to have a precise number where what you can type in, you can just, while selecting this point, press P, and while you're on the viewport, and there you have all the numbers, and you can just type in oh no, it was minus 160, and now you have even numbers. So this is also a nice feature if you give the joints a name. So you can just rename it here. Yeah, that's basically it. In my case, this wasn't necessary, so I didn't have to reorientate stuff. So I will delete it. Basically what I did is I captured the geo and put it into the bone deform in the first input, and then I have 2 other inputs. The one is the non-transformed skeleton, and on the third input is the one where I transform stuff. And here I have not just 2 inputs, but 3. So it's just 3 rig poses and 1 skeleton plant. And in this happens the animations with the keyframe. And basically it, yeah, it blends from the first to the second, and from the second to the third. That's basically the same as I did here, just with 2 nodes, but with 3. And yeah, there are a lot of possibilities. You can also stack the skeleton plants after another, so we can add another, and so maybe that's clearer for you. But for this case, it was enough for me. Yeah, then I have the bone deform. I didn't change anything, and that's basically the whole rigged and animated skeleton. What I can show you, I could imagine that it's interesting for you how I animated them. So what I did is I have, two rig poses. Let's start with them. And in the first one, nothing changes really, just the root. I put them to 90 degrees so it stays, upwards. And in the second one, I, because I have group names, I can just type them in. So as I showed you before in the planks group, I have all the other groups like the stump, the root, or I don't have a group and I just select the specific point and I give them all the values I want them to have. So maybe let's just play around. What changes if we, the planks are basically the ones to the side. And if I change this value, no, it wasn't this one was, it was, I can change how much the leaf is unfolding or closed. So, and then the stump, what it does is how much it rotates to, to the side. The root stays the same, so I don't want it to change. And basically what this blend does, it just blends from one state to the other, and if nothing changes, there is no visible change. The point 2, I figured out just in the end that I wanted to have a little extra rotation on this point, so I was too lazy to build another group, so I just selected this point and changed the value. And the middle part, let's see what is the middle part, is all the points which are basically the blue mesh have to, or I want them to bend like -5 degrees, and so that it's a little bit more organic. And because I have them, like, basically it was this is one object transformed 3 times, and if I change it one time, it's, maybe that's more clear what I mean. It adds up. So the first rotation is, I don't know, 10 degrees, then it's for this point it's 20, and for this one is 30. And so you can get really nice rotations or organic bendings with just one group, as long as you keep them all in one group. So that's the skeleton part. And because I want to have the fabric on top of it, I need to unpack it so that I have all the whole mesh. I changed or I just deleted the colors so that you can see better, because there's one issue here, and you can see it that the right side of the whole skeleton is or the normals are in the right way, and on the left part it's inverted. And so the first thing I need to do is to reverse it, and what I did is I have a mirror node somewhere here. So this is the part where I copied the whole line to the left, and here I can output a group named mirror, and I use this group in the reverse node to just reverse this one. So I don't want it to reverse all of it, because then it would be, my problem would still exist. I just want to reverse the left part. So therefore I just select the mirror and reverse it. The 3 nodes in the middle, they're not relevant for today. Probably I will make a video about Redshift someday, and then I can show it to you. So then I give it a group, select all of it, and have it as the collider. And down there, it's really simple. Maybe that's another interesting part, how I built the, so let's see, how I built the, yeah, the mesh of the leaf or the fabric. It's really, really simple, and probably there are much easier ways, but I started with the grid. I took one point, the top one, and just with the edit, I scaled it down so that it moves to the center. Then I polysplit. I added a split between the thing, and then I split it up into, I just changed. So sorry for that. I just split it up and merged them together. And there is no difference in the viewport right now, but when we use a exploded view, I think we should see something. Yeah, there you can see here it's one object, and down there are two separate objects. And I wanted that because then I can, with the poly extrude, inset it a little bit and have it like that they're not connected and have a little gap between them. So that's this, and then I again used another mirror node because for the left side, and this is the really this wouldn't be good for the vellum simulation because there are way too many, or there are two less points. So I remesh it, and then there's just an auto UV and the material. For later, I put them in vellum cloth. It's nothing special. I think it's more or less the default settings. You can have a look on them. What I wanted was that they're not so stiff and that they're building nice wrinkles. Then the attached geometry maybe is another interesting part. So when the simulation starts, the fabric is also so aligned upwards so that it's can be connected to the whole geometry. And I chose a state of the whole leaf where it's flat, so it's much easier to attach the fabric to the geometry. And what I did was, I think I was really lazy and just put it in the node for the target group and changed the max distance. I'm not sure if I even changed it, but what I think I showed you, you could refine this so that it's much closer. Yeah, these are settings you can play around with. And then I put it in the vellum solver, and to make it a little bit more nicer, I jump in with I into the vellum solver and added a pop wind, and there I want to have a wind velocity of -1, so that the in my head it's like the wind coming from the top, and an amplitude 0.8, so that there is a little bit action going on. With U I go upwards, and then what else? I just used the vellum process node and added the thickness, and then I added a file cache, and basically that's it. So let's see. I don't know why it's behaving weirdly. Maybe we have a flag somewhere. No, maybe it helps. I hope it doesn't crash to reset the viewport. Yeah, this should help. And if we watch it again, that's the end result. And basically from now on, what I did was I just had this one object, I packed it, I instanced it on a few scattered points. I used mobs randomize to change the scale and the positioning of the stuff and the rotation. And yeah, for this I highly can recommend you a video of Paul Estevez about offsetting. this video is really, really brilliant, and I think it's so helpful. So please watch this. Basically, I just would recreate what he does. But a little tip, in this whole section, he just tells you how to do it with Vex, and I think it's really depressing. And in this part, he step by step updates the whole node setup and uses mobs nodes, which are way easier. And so maybe the first time you just watch it through, and then if you watch it the second time, you just go to the using mobs nodes, and then yeah, it's really easy. And there you can see his beautiful flowers, how they are offsetted, and how this animation works. So I hope you had you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you have suggestions what I could improve, or if you have topics you want me to talk about, then feel free to write it in the comments. When I created this is about a month ago, so already in this short time period I learned so much more, where I just thought, oh, you could make it this way and it would be much easier. So yeah, but I think that's part of the process, and especially with Houdini, you're never finished. And yeah, have a nice day. Bye.